everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine and today I'm going to show you guys how I like to cleanse and charge my crystals. Now, I am not a crystal expert. I don't know every single thing about each type of crystal. I am learning day by day about the crystals that I have, so if I forget to mention like a method on how to cleanse your crystal, because there's a lot of different methods, or if I get something wrong or if I mispronounce a crystal, because some of these crystal names is a tongue twister. It's pretty hard to pronounce. Then I apologize, okay? Don't crucify me. If you want to share the ways that you like to cleanse or charge your crystals, feel free to mention it down below in the comments. So the reason why you should cleanse your crystal is because your crystal absorbs all of your energy. It could be good energy, it could be bad energy. It just absorbs it. And if you want to keep getting the properties from your crystal, then you need to cleanse it. Now, you don't have to cleanse it every single day or every other day, but I will say that I cleanse my crystals every other week or every couple of weeks until I feel that I'm not getting the properties from my crystals, because I have a lot of crystals, okay? So it's really hard to maintain them sometimes. So I mostly focus on if I'm not getting the properties from my crystal, then it's time for me to cleanse them. But if you just want to use your crystals as decorations, then you don't have to cleanse them. Just don't put them in the sun, because any type of crystal can basically fade in the sun if they're left out too long. So here are my methods on how I like to cleanse my crystals. Now, since I have a lot of crystals, I like to use two methods. I like to use the water method and also the sun method, because my crystals, some of my crystals can't be in the sun and can't be in the water, so I basically switched them. So the ones that can't be in the water, I put them in the sun. The ones that can't be in the sun, I put them in the water. So for the water method, what I used to do with my first set of crystals is that I would get a bowl and I'll fill it up with like warm water or room temperature water, not too hot and not too cold. And I'll just place my crystals inside there for like 10 to 20 minutes, probably like 15 minutes. Afterwards, I will remove it, pat it dry, set my intentions into them, and just let them be. Nowadays, I like to do the running water method because like I've mentioned plenty of times in this video, I have a lot of crystals. And cleansing them, doing the bowl method is really nice, but I need a really big bowl because I do have some big crystals. They can't all fit in the bowls that I was using before. So the running water method really works out for me because you just turn on your faucet, room temperature water or warm water, just make sure it's not boiling hot or ice cold, and you're just gonna place your crystal underneath the water and have it just cleanse all that energy out. And that is also another way for you to charge your crystals too, so you're cleansing and charging at the same time, which is wonderful. I just do that, pat it dry, or sometimes I'll let it dry itself. So it's very important to do your research if you do want to do the water method on your crystals, because I mentioned this in my crystal collection video that I had got angelite, and I was mostly doing the water method for all my crystals. Not all my crystals, the crystals that I can't do in water, or the crystals that I thought I could do in water. I put it in water, and unfortunately it kind of faded. The color kind of faded a little bit, and then I looked it up and I've seen that angelite cannot be in water. So here are the crystals that can't be in water, mainly because if they do, they'll fade like my angelite, or they will dissolve like selenite can dissolve. It'll basically disappear. They can break apart, they can create toxic. Now moving on to the sun method. So the crystals that can be in water, I put it in the sun. When the sun hits into my room, it mostly hits on my bed, on like a corner of my bed, so I'll just put it on the corner of my bed for like 20 minutes. You don't want to leave it in the sun for too long because the sun's light is very strong, so it can most likely discolor your crystals or fade them a little bit. And it is another way for you to charge your crystals as well. So here are the crystals that can't be in the sun. Now, the consequences of you leaving these crystals in the sun isn't nearly as bad as the ones that can't be in water, but it is recommended that you don't put these in the sun. So here are the crystals that don't need to be cleansed. You can charge them and put your intentions into them, but they do not need to be cleansed. So that is how I like to cleanse and charge my crystals, from doing the sun method and also doing the water method. Here are some other methods that you can do to cleanse and charge your crystals as well. So another one is that you can use the moonlight. I don't really do this method at all because the light from the moon kind of like shifts, so it doesn't really hit my room too often. It's very rare. So the light from the moon is going to cleanse your crystals and also charge it, but it's going to be a little bit slower compared to the sun. The light isn't that bright, which is why a lot of like people will say to let it cleanse overnight rather than for like 20 to 30 minutes, like if you were to put it underneath the sun. Another way to cleanse your crystals is that you can bury them in salt. I did this with my first crystal, and I just got a little bowl, put it in there because the crystal I had was pretty small, and I just lightly just covered it with just plain salt. Now you can use regular salt, you can use sea salt, or you can use Himalayan salt. I think Himalayan salt is most likely the best, but at the time we have the little salts where you have to go like this, and I didn't want to have to do that. With the salt that I use, you just pours out like that. But needless to say, I stopped doing that method because we used the salt to bake, and I didn't want to use up all the salt because it's not like you can reuse the salt, you have to throw it away. Yeah, I did see on TikTok of someone going to TJ Maxx and getting a bag of Himalayan salt as well as a long container, and they filled it up and put the crystals on top of it. So you can totally do that, or you can bury it in the salt if you want to. I will say that when you do take your crystals out, to make sure to clean off the salt particles that's on your crystal. You can do that by either running it underneath water if it's able to, or you can just take a clean towel and just wipe it off because you don't want your crystals to be salty. Another method is that you can bury your crystals in the ground. So I just found out that the earth has a lot of energy, and you can bury your crystals in a garden, or you can plant it in like a plant pot. So I wanted to do this method, but I have 3 dogs. One of them is super nosy and likes to dig everywhere and likes to get into everything, so I don't really do this. If you don't have that problem with your pets, or if you don't have pets, then you can bury it in your garden if it's safe and secured. Just remember where you buried it, because I heard that you do have to leave it in there for a while for the earth to absorb the energy and to transfer the energy to your crystal, which is why I would recommend to do it in a plant pot that's inside your house, so that way you won't forget about it. Another way is that you can use a smudging stick. So if you have like sage, Palo Santo, or like an incense, then you can use that to cleanse your crystals. I don't use this method because the smell can affect some of my household's noses, so I don't really burn it too often or ever at all. But you can use those to help cleanse your crystals. All you have to do is just hold your smudging stick, or if you have an incense, you can hold it or put it in the little incense thing holder, and just put your crystals around into the smoke. Or I heard people have the little feather and they'll like kind of blow the smoke onto your crystals. You can do that as well, and you can also cleanse the area around you when you do that. Another way that you can cleanse your crystals is by having other crystals cleanse them and charge them as well. So crystals like selenite is really nice to have because they can cleanse and charge your crystals. I have a selenite tea light candle holder, so I put my crystals on top of that to cleanse and charge it, which is really nice. I've also read that amethyst is really nice to have to cleanse your crystals, especially if it's like a cluster, or if it's like those little really big ones that's like $1,000. But if you have one, or if you know someone that has one, then you can put your crystals inside of it, leave it overnight for it to cleanse and charge. So the last method that I know of is that you can use your energy to cleanse and charge your crystals. So I don't really do this method often because my energy fluctuates throughout the day, especially during this time, okay? So one minute I'll be really good, really positive, feeling nice, and then the next minute I'm just down in the depths. But you can use your energy to cleanse your crystals. Another reason why I don't do this is because I have a lot of crystals and it's a lot of energy taken out of me. But if you have a small amount, or if you're really dedicated to cleansing all of your crystals, if you have a lot, then you should do it, okay? So all you have to do is just hold your crystal, kind of feel it, connect with it, and just visualize all of that energy inside your crystal, just leaving it. And then also visualize all of your energy being transferred into your crystal. And then when you feel like all of that energy has left and all of your energy has been transferred to the crystal, you say your intention, and then you put the crystal in a place where you want to put it. So say for instance, if I'm holding a rose quartz and I'm just visualizing all of the energy, all of that negative energy of me being lonely out of my crystal, and I'm transferring all like loving energy into my crystal so that way it can help me manifest love. Then I say my intention, which is like, please bring me more, please help increase my self-love, please bring forth more loving people in my life, and so on, so on, so on, so on. Then I'll place my crystal in the area that I wanted to place it. So like I said before, if you cleanse or charge your crystals in a different way, make sure to mention it down below so that way we all know, we can all learn, okay? So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I hope you guys liked this video, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!